Welcome to October 20th, 2022 meeting of the Hingham Historic Districts Commission. This meeting is called to order as of 6:34 p.m. This meeting is being held remotely as an alternate means of public access pursuant to an order issued by the Governor of Massachusetts dated March 12, 2020, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You're hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the town of Hingham in accordance with the open meeting law. We have 3 items on the agenda tonight. First one's a continuation. Justin is not here tonight. So the 4 voting members are myself, Carol, Dan, and Catherine. Are there any conflicts on any of the 3 agenda items?
No, sir.
Okay.
I had a conflict with 10 John Street. That's a project I worked on.
Yeah, all right. So the first one, which is 302 North Street, Eric, you were a voting member last time we heard this, so can you be the voting member on this one again? Yes. For 10 Jones Street, Josh, can you be a voting member on that?
Sure, happy to.
And since Catherine has recused herself on that one, Marianne, can you also be a voting member on that?
I can.
And then for 693 Main Street, Marianne, can you be the 5th voting member on that one?
I will.
Okay. So we'll start with first item, 302 North Street. I see Alan here, and I see Mr. Bridgman. So Al,
Good evening, everyone.
Want to get started?
Sure. Thanks for having this meeting, straight up. And I'll just sort of explain where we left off. I think we had the big idea of moving the house parallel to the street. And that decision, that idea came late in the game last time around. And we assembled some drawings and put an idea out there, and it was a solid idea, but it needed to be refined. And what we've done in the last few weeks is sort of fine-tune that concept. So we have the site plan here. That's sort of before we didn't have a site plan, so we weren't sure if it fit, but it fits within the setbacks. We turn the house 90 degrees and move it parallel to North Street and raise it up. And what raising the house up does is it allows us to raise the ridge up and then tie into that ridge height with the perpendicular ridge off the back for the new massing, the new addition, which is off the back. So it honors the original home, which is a portion of what's there now, and that sort of is depicted on the demolition plan. So it's that front.
Tracy, are you able to share the plans on the screen?
Sure, one moment.
Thanks. I think everyone got their copy in the mail the other day.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Tracy. Yeah. So the area that's not hatched is the area that was saved. And all of the rest of that has been added onto over time. So there's nothing, the original home is being honored. So it looks devastating, but it's really not that bad. So retaining that and turning it and raising it up and putting it's on a brick foundation now, and just we'll extend the idea of the brick on the foundation wall system facing North Street. And then again, the idea of raising that up allows us to tie in at the ridge height of the original home and then add mass out the back. So those and the rendering sort of speak to the massing. And last time at the first design iteration, there was a garage that had a gable that was sort of, I thought, honoring and respecting the main gable of the house, but it was a little too maybe prominent for a garage that was attached. So I softened that back roof slope. So it's an attached garage still, but it's just a softer version of that. And within this big idea, we're just honoring the main house by sort of using the same trim detail, the same siding, the same roof slopes, these kinds of things, and using the grades as the grades tail off to create more sort of living space within the house. So that's where it's at. And with respect to windows and maybe in specific siding specs, we're open to what the board might suggest, or whichever windows are being allowed to be installed in a renovation process like this. So the original house windows are not original to the home. So we're going to replace pretty much everything that has to do with the windows, and come in with something that's historically appropriate throughout.
Any questions from the committee? Go ahead, Carol.
Could you, Ellen, let us know the distance from the newly configured turned house to the street? I mean, one of the things we immediately noticed was that it was just too close to North Street. So what will this one be?
Well, right now it's about 2.5 feet. Now it's closer to 5, which that still might be too tight. And
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
I really don't want to move it too far back than that 5 feet. I mean, originally it was right on the front lot line. I think I'd want to keep that portion of the house closer to the street, as it's not from a standpoint of the house was hit twice, but it was from the car across the street rolling out of the driveway, or something that I think they believe the other accident was the car hit it and it pushed into it. The geometry of the street, it's really not like the other house up the street. Yes, it's, you're coming into a corner that was hit. I can see that, but I like it like that. I think it's a very interesting proposal from the standpoint of the preservation of the existing house. And I was even considering, doing a different siding material on the addition to, to make that front portion of the house stand out. And I think it's just an interesting concept that could be, refined in some manners from the exterior details to, not make it look like just one property. I mean, maybe that's the intentions of the board, but my theory on these things is that I like to try to keep some separation between the original house and the addition, so you can see it.
Just a point of clarification, it's marked on the plan as being a 4.3 foot setback.
That's 5, 4.5 to 5. I mean, we're talking 6 inches.
No, that's just what it's marked as. So I just
Yeah.
answered the question.
I'm again on a little disadvantage. I'm on the road right now, so.
That's why I was just giving the number.
Yep.
A quick question. I wasn't able to listen to the meeting last week, but the little outbuilding,
Yes.
this means that little outbuilding will be torn down.
Yes.
And just wanted the members to be aware of that, because there was discussion about the charm and unusualness of that.
Well, you can't even see it from the street, basically, and also the building is kind of a mishmash of different materials. I don't really know when it was built, but in this process, it's not a demolition process in my world. It's a deconstruction and a reconstruction process. All that material, whether it's from the interior of the house or the garage or the stonework, and there's some granite pieces around, a lot of granite around the site, that will all be reused and then reincorporated into the property. I mean, even as far as the brick foundation, there's only a portion that's brick. The rest of it is stone as you go around the house. there was only that front, what is parallel to the driveway, the existing front of the house was brick foundation. It's still stone in the back of it. So we're gonna reuse all that. We're gonna, you know, all the brick we can use within the property, we're gonna use. That's the way we do these things. It's a shame to waste all that wonderful material.
Frank, can you tell us why you have to take it down? It doesn't appear like it would need to come down.
What, the garage?
Yeah,
Because it just doesn't work. I mean, it's not a garage. It's not in the right spot. I mean, when you turn the house, the one biggest problem about this house is getting in and out of the driveway. That's a dangerous situation with the speed on Beale Street. And that would allow someone to get in, turn the car around and come out forward. We're always backing out of this driveway, and it really is a nightmare. So I'm doing it for safety reasons, mostly.
what do you think it was used for? If it's not a garage, was it a potting shed,
I don't know what it was, because those doors, the doors on the garage aren't original. I actually made those. It's made of, like, I can tell it's all piecemeal extra wood. There's mortise and tendons and areas that it's just reused. And I don't know exactly what it was used for, because it is small.
Yeah, so I wouldn't classify it as a garage. I could probably put it under the classification of it being an accessory building. Don't need to define what that is, but I guess my follow-up question to that is, looking at the site plan, it shows it going away, but I don't see how it going away helps with the driveway or what's happening there. I just see it's going away and that the driveway's, to the side of it. Can you just explain what modifications being?
Well, can I pull up the site plan? If you can pull the site plan up on the screen, I can certainly explain it to you.
Yeah, it's the first page in our document, Miss Tracy, so it's probably a different file.
You can see there's a turnaround right there where that garage is. I'm looking at the site plan on my phone.
Yeah, I see a turnaround, but I don't see it at the location where the garage is. So that's what I'm just trying to understand.
No, the existing shed, we're not calling it a garage, we're calling it an existing shed,
Accessory building, whatever. Yep.
the shed. You can see the driveway, there's a turnaround there.
I'm not seeing that, to be honest.
Turnaround is after the
Is it gonna
shed.
Is it gonna be pavement where the garage is? Is the plan is that's almost like a parking space?
No,
That's
it's
what you-
just the turnaround. If you can see, you'd be able to back out of the garage,
Yeah,
back
why don't we
into
pull up
that.
the plan? Why don't we pull up the plan? Because I haven't seen the same
Yep.
thing Dan's seeing.
I'm looking at it on my phone and you can see it. when-
Yeah, I'm sorry, Andrea, I don't have that file that has just the site plan.
Yeah,
Unless
what-
we have the site plan for
what
the
you're-
original.
Oh, yes, this isn't the
we
right
don't
site
see-
plan.
Yeah, we don't have that, Mr. Ridge.
We don't have that document.
We have a different
I
document.
thought it was in the package, Al.
We have a site plan, but it's a different one.
Yeah,
Okay. That's why you can't see it.
Yep.
That's right.
There you go. Do you have it?
So I have it, and I don't know if you
Can
can
you
see it on
send
my
it?
phone.
Well, I don't know if
No.
we can really.
I don't think that's adequate.
So there it is right there.
Frank, if we postpone just that small part of your application for now and go on to the changes at the house and what you'd like to do, could we get back to that later, maybe?
I feel like it impacts the entire project, honestly.
I agree.
I don't think that we can discuss something it all hinges on.
It doesn't hinge on that, it's just, you're gonna make it, you're gonna have to back out onto North Street. And that's a real safety issue.
I mean, I don't think we can discuss something intelligently without a proper site plan.
Al, can you send them the site plan?
They have the site. I'm confused as to what is.
Al, I think we have the site plan from the original.
Yeah, it's dated 10/5/22 and it doesn't show the building
Can you
rotating.
bring the site plan up on the screen, please? I'm sorry if I sent the wrong one.
I think that's the problem. There isn't a site plan. on the,
Yeah, I don't have the site plan. If you could email it to me, I can pull that up.
Oh,
The hard copy that we have shows the garage like that and doesn't show a turnaround going where the garage is at. And it shows, I don't think it.
well, that's it. The one that I'm looking at and I think that's Frank's phone. You don't have that? I'm sorry.
No, I just put
I
up
can
one
email
hard
that
copy.
to Al right now.
Well, hold on. The site plan that says the setback at 4.3 feet is the accurate site plan.
Yeah, that's the one, Dan.
Yeah, but it doesn't show. It doesn't show that garage being impeded by the turnaround.
Right.
Right now, it shows what I see.
That's the only site plan that there is. I don't know.
The one,
Oh.
no, what Al showed is different than ours. Or
Let me
not
see it.
Al, Frank.
Can someone put it up on the screen and I'll be able to clarify this? It's blurry. I feel like I'm at the eye doctor.
It should.
I know, I see if I can get it. I don't know if it's gonna.
I can't see
focus
this
on it.
line. I need glasses.
It's a backwards E.
It would be with the initial plans on the website. So we can give that a
Yeah, I
whirl.
can't get it to focus.
All right.
Well, you know
Okay,
what?
is this it up here right now?
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
Hey, Miss Tracy, brilliant.
That's the old one.
No, that's the new one. I mean, that's
No,
an old one. Yeah.
That's 5/31/22. That's
Yeah.
the old one.
So I'm looking at the wrong one too.
Yeah, because the one that we have that's in our packet that's dated
Wait a minute.
But
5/22.
Does that
You
old one
can-
have a setback of 4.3 feet? I can't read it, but
It
No,
says
the one,
5.13.
yeah, the one in our packet says a setback of 4.3, shows
Yeah.
the building being rotated, dated 10/5/22, shows
Okay.
the garage coming out, but when you zoom in on that, if you look at what's going at the garage, it doesn't show something else going over the garage. It shows bituminous concrete driveway up to the garage.
okay.
yeah, this, Dan, this
I
one
have
on the
not,
screen
I see
now.
the site plan on the screen, but
Yeah,
I
on the
don't
one on
know
the
how it was
screen-
left out of that loop, because I didn't get that site.
Yeah, the one on the
Unless I printed the
screen,
wrong one.
you can see the curb cut dark line over it.
Yeah, but this is
Can everyone make that up?
this is the old one. This is before the house.
Oh, yep, you're right.
So I'm going off of what was in our packet, and the way
Right.
it's on in our packet, there's no turnaround that impedes that accessory buildings or intent to really understand why it's supposed to be demoed.
I think it's, whether the house doesn't move or not, the safety issue of getting in and out of that driveway should be addressed.
And
It's-
I agree, but the way it's drawn on our site plan, there's a turnaround between the new garage and that accessory building.
Okay. But that's still, I have to see it. And like I said, I've been on the road for 3 weeks now. I'm just getting back close to the state of Massachusetts. So I've been working remotely, which is difficult. So I think if we want to continue the meeting, I think maybe we should discuss the house, because the garage and the shed, the existing shed and the driveway, we can come back and look at. I don't see it as being in totality.
That's what I suggested.
And I mean, after looking at it, I mean, it's the garage to me, again, it's in a historic preservation. It's there's certain goals, yes, but we also have safety issues that we deal with as well, as far as access to a site. And but so the thing I was excited about when we looked at this and we had the site meeting and Andrea had suggested it, me and Al never even thought of it because it just didn't come up as an idea. And I was just,
I think I have, but just to stop you, Mr. Bridgman, I have problems pursuing the conversation if we don't have the proper application information. I just don't think how we can speak intelligently about anything if we don't have the right.
why
in our
couldn't you speak
packet.
intelligently about the plans that are presented in front of you?
It's in the packet. We just don't have a PDF to put on the screen. I just looked on the website. We have the renderings, we have architectural plans. We just don't have the site plan digitally, but we have it in our packet.
Yep.
That's what I'm looking at. That's what Dan's looking at. Saw the 4.3. I agree with Dan. It looks like that, that accessory structure could stay there and there could still be a turnaround and pull out straight on the North Street or head first on the North Street. I do think we could provide some commentary on the addition itself. I think everyone, based on the last hearing, was kind of like this idea of rotating the house. 4.3 feet is, yep, that's it.
Okay, I got it now. But again, I mean, yeah.
So when I look at this plan, I interpret this as you can get a turnaround, and that accessory dwelling unit could stay. I understand that it's not intended to be a garage, but I think there's a pretty high threshold to meet for demoing anything that's within the historic realm. So I think that there would be a lot more due diligence before I think this committee would feel comfortable just demoing it. And
Well,
especially,
let's leave it off the table. Let's
Yeah.
leave it existing, okay? Because there's a lot of back and forth regarding the demolition process that's gone on.
Great.
So
Perfect.
I think now we're back to the house because the garage is staying for now.
I have a question, Frank.
Yes.
Is any part of the new addition higher than the original front piece, the old piece?
Not at the new placement. No.
They roughly the same height or close to?
The height
Let
of
me
the
just- if I can
existing
just-
building,
Yeah,
the
what-
height of the existing building, you're asking,
yeah,
or the height of the new location of the,
both. I want to make sure.
well, obviously, the house is going to be higher because of the floodplain elevation. So yes, the house is higher than the existing house by probably, in totality, I would say roughly 3 feet right now, but it's going to be,
Yeah, I don't think that's what Carol's asking. I understand you're raising the foundation 3 feet. I think Carol's asking, are any of the roof lines or anything
No.
like that of the addition higher?
no,
I look at the SketchUp renderings. I don't know if that's what you're using now or not, but
Yeah.
it looks like it's all
it's all the same.
it's all the same.
That's what the goal was. And I thought, I really do think it's a fascinating, I find that the interesting part about it is how you treat the exterior of the existing structure and the rear structure from a design and textural standpoint, color and whatever. If it's all one color, it would be one thing, but I would be open to listen to the board's suggestions on some of those items.
Well, and maybe before we get to color, we had talked about the fact that the garage is attached to the house.
Yes.
Was any thought given to that?
Well, you asked me I gave Andrea quite an extensive list of homes within the historic districts over the last 20 years that have attached garages. Pleasant Street. I mean, I don't have the list in front of me again, but there was quite a few. I've been around in the town for about 30 years and lived at 688 Main Street and for a number of years. And there was a few right on in that particular area that had attached garages. Within the, last 10 years or so, some 15. So there's a number of houses in process right now that have 2-car garages attached that are under construction. So I'm confused with the board's, what the problem is. I'm asking for a single car garage that's essentially 3 or 4 feet, 5 feet from the building.
Tracy, can I just ask a question? I know we had talked about our approach for comments? Is the plan to go around the main
ahead.
matters? Or are we going to focus on specific things? How do you want us to approach it?
Yeah, I think Carol's made a handful of comments. Do you want to go next?
Why not? A couple things just to point out generally to everyone so they're aware on. We talked about the height, the back massing is slightly taller than the front massing. You can see it in elevation, but I would say by a foot. And I don't think you'd even perceive that, to be honest, in the street, but just to make that clear to everyone. The elevations are showing shutters on the front elevation, and these 3Ds aren't showing it. I'm just assuming the shutters will be a part of it. Is that correct?
The shutters on the existing house are vinyl.
Will there be new shutters? I'm just trying to clarify because
Yeah, I mean, I would suggest this new shut, they would put new shutters on the front house. The one question I had for the board was, and me and Al talked about it briefly as far as the front of the house is, the door is off-centered. So I assume we keep it like that.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Okay.
I just clarification. I see because this has come up in other projects, you're noting brick veneer on the foundation. I only see it noted on the front elevation, and even in these 3D renderings, it's not shown on
Correct.
the side elevations of the existing
Well,
home.
so basically, we're back to the floodplain construction foundations. In the foundation, so I was planning on doing it on the front and the side gable ends of the existing building.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the foundation is going to be in the back. And if it's on piers, that would be a different, I would just do probably just a wood or something along those lines. Just
Okay.
cover it
So
up.
So to clarify the front existing home, there'll be a brick veneer on the front and the side elevations.
Correct.
Okay, so just to clarify, these 3Ds aren't showing that, just so everyone's aware, that's what we're getting, which I think will be nice to have on the sides as well. So that's good to hear.
I plan on using all the existing brick on the site to do that.
Great. And then I guess my only other general comments, in general, just in positive, I think you've been a good partner of sort of this process, and I appreciate that. And, I think this is scaled very nicely. Your comments about a different finish for the back or the same, I'm fine with either personally. I think it's okay if the newer portion is different or if it's the same. So, other commission members have a different opinion, that's fine, but that's how I feel. I know there's definitely some sensitivity to garages attached. I would say this one, in my opinion, it's more subdued, which I do appreciate. As you said, it's a single car garage, which is also, I think, helps facilitate that. So I think that's a nice element of it. And I think the comment that you'd change the roof line to help mitigate that garage impact, I think that's successful too. So I do appreciate that. That's my time.
I just ask, if you pull in the driveway with your groceries, where do you go in the house?
Through the, right next to the garage.
You go back in the property and in the back? That's
Excuse
no
me?
doors on the side.
No, the garage, between the garage and the house, there's an entrance.
Right, I see that.
So that's how you get into the house.
Okay.
So you pull your car in and you don't have direct access into the house from the garage. To keep that antique feel.
Josh, any questions or comments? You're on mute.
Clicked the wrong button. I think it's a great design. And I do appreciate Mr. Bridgman's participation in this iterative process. I do think that the garage reads very modern still, but I realize that there's not a lot of ways to get around that, particularly when you're wanting to have a bedroom and a stairwell up to it. you've got to work with what you know what you can enclose that with. I would propose that if you would be willing to leave the existing accessory structure,
Mhm.
that could, in my mind at least, mitigate some of the impact of having that garage that reads more modern.
Mhm.
And that's my only comment.
Thank you. Mary Ann,
Appreciate that.
any comments?
I had a question. It's the shutters on the front will be wood shutters, not replacing the vinyl?
No, there'd be wood shutters. And they would, I just was in Alexandria, Virginia, and that's an amazing little town of history. And the shutters are put on right there. The slats are upside down instead of the way we see them here. If you understand what I'm saying.
I do understand what you're saying. And so they're going to be put on right.
I am.
Okay, okay.
There's only two sets, so I think I can get two right.
I have to make a comment on the garage. I'm a big proponent from prior proposals of, a detached garage, back of the house, et cetera, et cetera. But I do have to say, in this case, the garage, because it is single, because it is minimal, I think you mask its modernity. I just invented that word.
Good word.
I don't know if you invented it. I think it's a very good choice of words.
That's a real leap for me to say that an attached garage on a historic home is pretty much acceptable to my way of thinking. So I think you've done a nice job kind of folding it in as best you can.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think Al did a good job. I mean, this was a really challenging plan. And, I think when I go through conservation, if it is approved and I can move forward with conservation, that may allow me to move this slightly a little further back and allow a little more turnaround room in that area between the garage, and if it's going to remain. And I think that's more than doable. So I think that would be a good way of approaching it from that standpoint, and keeping the existing shed and working around it.
Catherine, did you want to make any comments?
Yeah, I have a few comments. I think I'm still feeling like the massing on this is altered significantly by changing the direction of the house. I think it's an interesting idea, but North Street is known for its little tiny homes, quirky small places, and skinny lots, and it changes the massing and the scale significantly of this home. I think the dormers are pitched really shallowly, and I'm wondering what the ceiling height is downstairs and upstairs. I guess I'm quite concerned about raising up the house. Is also the total character of the house is changed by raising the foundation up.
You're in the floodplain, though. You got to remember.
But if you were not renovating, you wouldn't need to raise it.
But even if I was renovating it, I'd raise the house up, because you are limited to the amount of work you could do.
Right.
And it's impossible to do a house that needs this much work in little pieces.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
But I mean,
from our perspective, that's just from my perspective, that is a concern. It changes the character. Again, also the massing. What are the heights on the first floor and the second floor? The ceiling heights?
Well, the ceiling heights on the first floor, I'm going to open the ceilings up. So they're not going to be this. That's how I'm achieving this what I want to do. There is not going to be everything in the front part of the house is going to be open. Everything in the back part so I can drop the floor in the back part of that middle addition. That's going to be a bedroom area. Not concerned about the ceiling heights in there. They might be under 8 feet, 7, 8, whatever. And then when you get back into that family room area, that's going to be a nice big opened area. So there's going to be very high ceilings in there. Because there's no space, living space above that. So my concern with your comment is that I look at the massing of the approvals that are being done presently and the size of the 2-car garages with the living spaces and the giant breezeways attached to them. I'm trying to do something simple here. I
appreciate that, and I see the efforts you've gone through, and those are different.
But are you in agreement that, what do you do when you drive down Main Street now and see the massive?
I don't think you can compare them. Every home and every application is a separate and its own
Correct.
island. You can't,
I
talking about
understand
North
that.
Street and Main Street are different lots, different homes, different scales, different mass.
You correct, but I have a nice lot here, and, I want to utilize the house and the lot for myself. I drive down North Street, and it's not great streetscape. There's been just a large addition massive addition that's been on a house on the left-hand side, just going towards the town. You've got a brand new house next to me, not next to me, but a newer home, 1960s Gambrel Cape. Then you've got a brand new house next to that that's quite large. I think this would be a massive improvement to the streetscape of North Street.
Yeah, I'm raising concerns. That's all. Those are my.
I understand your concerns, but I'm confused with the precedent that's out there. How come this particular house, the massing is so important and everything?
Tracy, would you like to
It doesn't mean Catherine didn't have those concerns on those other properties. She's just expressing.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to figure out where to go here, and it's what it's hard.
Yeah, but if you listen to the commission as a whole, I'm not hearing the majority of the commission express some of the same concern.
I agree.
Right. So Catherine's just expressing what she's seeing, and
I appreciate that.
In her
I apologize. I've had a very long day. I've been in the car for 15 hours. So I stopped just for this Zoom meeting.
So
Can I ask one other question? Back to
Sure.
what you had talked about before, your instinct to keep the old part of the house looking a little different from the addition, and something that we've talked about lots of times. As you said about the shutters, and you only have 2 windows, what about shuttering both sides of that original addition too? So you really, and maybe even think about a color difference, so that it really would say, here's my lovely old house, little house, and the rest we've put on over time, and it looks a little different.
Right. That's how I looked at it. I thought my gut told me I liked the idea, and I'm not a big White House guy, but I was thinking of painting the entire front and gables white, and with the black shutters, and then just doing weathered shingles on the remaining part of the house.
That's an interesting thought, but what I was really asking you was, would you consider the nice wooden shutters to go on
Absolutely.
the windows also?
Absolutely. I would have probably done it anyways, but it's, I'm trying to make it, I want to make this project, I think this is from a historic restoration. It's a unique one. I've done, a number of these, and to me, this is a very unique one because I think it's going to be very nice when it's done. It's going to, instead of my process, I found that we put all these additions on the back of the house, and I've said this to you in the past, and then the existing house becomes, nothing. So I just wanted the little house to stand out on its own. I was saying to you guys, I don't know if you know this, I own 771 Main Street on the corner of Cushing and Main. And if you look at that house there, the Gambrel Cape to the right was built in 1730. The rest of the house was built in the 1800s. It was Victorianized, then taken apart, but it was it's fascinating because that little house is just, it's not even a bedroom or anything. It's just a room.
Can we stay on topic just for timing?
Yep.
We have other things.
I get off topic.
Dan, did you have any other comments or questions?
Yeah, just a couple of things to comment on is, a little bit just general for the committee. There is, I don't know if the committee is aware, but national NPS has a guideline that they came out with about historic homes in a floodplain and recommendations on how to balance the historic with, the obvious forces of, if we don't do something, we're going to lose these homes potentially. So in a floodplain, there is a really good document, guidelines on flood adaptation for rehabilitation of historic buildings. So the big thing they say in there is, in terms of elevating existing buildings, is taking into context the streetscape. And when I look at the street, raising this building and the massing that we see here isn't dramatically different than the houses directly next to it. So it's not, to me, going to be this giant ISO that pops out that it was never historic, and that it's just something out of place. So I feel comfortable with it being raised. Did have a question. You commented saying that the brick was going to be reused. It's been a while since we did that site visit. I don't remember there being brick or where the brick was from.
It's hard to see because the house is just really sitting in the ground.
Okay.
So there's a small portion on the existing house you can see when you walk up to the front door. So that side of the house is the only really part you can see from the front corner to approximately where the original house ends. Then it's concrete foundation. So
I guess I just don't remember ever seeing brick there. So I was wondering how you were going to reuse brick on that front face.
there's all kinds of brick that's there in different areas. So,
Okay. And when you say a veneer, just for clarification, you mean that you're just going to face that existing brick on the
I never said a veneer. We're going to put a ledge on the foundation and just use the existing brick right on the ledge of the foundation.
Just trying to clarify.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the only other thing that really jumps out at me is and I don't know if we're trying to approve this tonight, but windows and doors and any exterior lighting fixtures and things like that we normally see cut sheets for.
Yep.
None of that's included.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
So I don't know, are we trying to approve this tonight, or are you trying to take our comment?
I don't get the feeling we're ready to make a motion tonight. I was going to make some of the same comments. I think this is a big step from, last hearing where we were just a couple fresh days off the site visit and Al produced a hand sketch quickly. Now we've got the 3D renderings. But I mean, just in summarizing, it seems like the majority of the commission is for keeping the existing accessory unit or a structure. It appears on the site plan that the driveway and the turnaround can work. And safety issue would be resolved. I'm not hearing, I don't think there's a majority against the general massing. There's been some comments about, is there a way to, maybe change the pitch of that, the dormers there, or something like that. The back is a foot or two higher, but from the street, I don't think you would notice that. You can see that on these renderings that that middle section eave doesn't go across. I think we could use a little bit more detail. Even the way that these windows are rendered, on the historic structure, it's showing single pane over or single unit over single unit, and the rest of the house 6/6.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's not really the intent.
No,
but we should get a little bit more information on the windows.
Yes.
Get a little bit more information on that front entry. Right now, it just looks like a precast concrete set of steps, which I think is your intent.
Yeah, I see that.
Me personally, I would be open to whether the materials stayed the same on the back. I'd be fine with a color change or something to really try to offset that house. I like Carol's comment of, trying to add shutters to the side just to really set that off. The 4.7 feet seems tight, but just like Dan said, on the raising the elevation in the floodplain, your neighbors are really close to the street too. So looking at the street as a whole, you know, like you said, if Conservation Commission allows you to push this back a foot or two, you would be open to that. I think that
Yep.
would be great. But generally, I think the setback is in line with the rest of the,
Mhm.
you know, at least your 302, 304, and 306, you know, so. I do like what you're doing with the garage door. It doesn't look like a typical sectional wood overhead door. It looks like you're trying to do something a little bit more
Mhm.
historically appropriate with that, at least the way it's rendered. But I think those are some of the details we'd like to see
Okay. I have
on
no,
the
I'd like
next
to,
go around.
I just was, if there's a particular, like, I've listened to the last meeting, they were talking about the Marvin wood window. I prefer to use a 1/2 inch mutton than the 5/8. The original windows are 6/6, so would you stay with those? Is there any other comments as far as the windows and doors that you guys would
Um,
prefer?
I think it's what, you know, you said that the windows aren't original. Don't know what they are now, but
No, they're all, yeah, they're single pane, 6/6, windows.
yeah, we'd want to see 6/6. We have been open to the 3-piece simulated divided light, which means that there's you know, there's the muttons on the outside, the inside, and in between the
Mhm.
panes of glass, assuming you're going for at least a double glaze.
Yes.
Doors should be wood. I
Yeah,
don't know if that front door is original. Or
that's a
can be
fiberglass
repaired.
door.
Yes, we would prefer a wood door. You know, and shutters, if you do them on the front and the side, should be wood as well.
So one question I have on the shutters when we do this is they're probably the gable end, the window in the,
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be tight.
so I probably not do that, but the two low windows?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay,
see Andrea nodding.
okay.
Is that a good summary? Is that enough to work with?
So light fixtures, materials. Now, the other thing, a comment I'd like to just get some feedback on the board. Would the board want the front building clapboarded or shingled?
What's it today?
Shingle today.
It's shingled today, but I don't know if it was clapboarded. It's probably clapboarded back in the day. You know, most of them were.
I can show it both ways and we can make a determination next time
Yeah,
we see.
maybe we can look on the historical
Okay.
photo too.
Yeah, a historic card back in when it was added in, when the card is from 88, it shows it as being shingles.
Yeah,
I mean, not to say that's not, but
no,
40, 50 years ago.
any other comments on the exterior detail that you guys are looking for?
Yeah, I hate to bring it up. It's always a bad topic. This house had to have had a chimney at some point. How did they heat it? So I know it's gone, and I look through your plans. I don't see where you'd put one, and we're not allowed to have fake ones. So I don't know what you do about it, but when you look at it, you want to see a chimney on an old house. It
I
says,
have no, you know what, again, there's no issue of putting a chimney anywhere in that house. It doesn't have to be necessarily fake, but it doesn't have to go through the house.
I don't know, what are our rules on that, Andrea? I thought we couldn't allow a faux chimney.
It's not faux. I mean, you'd use the brick.
It
original
would
brick.
be exterior, rather than putting it through the house. I think,
Yeah.
Frank, you're talking about on one of the walls, exterior.
No,
to the
like
house.
would put it, I think you'd maybe put it in the middle or at the front of the house.
I think there is a chimney on the house.
Correct. It's a small little chimney in the, there's actually two, but this one is in the main house. Comes out kind of off-centered through the back of the ridge on the back side.
Again, it goes back to your topic of keeping that front section looking like a little house that we built onto. And with shingles versus no shingles or a different siding material, nothing says old like a chimney.
Well, there's no problems. I have no problems putting a chimney through the roof with real brick to simulate what's there now.
And then what happened to the interior in that?
I don't have, it doesn't go anywhere. It's structurally supported in the building.
We're allowed to do that?
Well, I don't know what the point would be, actually,
Well, it would look like it's a chimney.
but it's not functional.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not,
It would just be an addition
yeah,
that,
I'm not keen on that.
Okay.
yeah.
You wouldn't know it didn't work.
One little, I'm sorry to ask this, I am going backwards, but I just would like to see
Yeah, we got to move forward.
square footage on this. That's all, like the total square footage addition and removed. Do we have a demolition plan on? So I'd like to see a demolition plan. What is being added and what's being subtracted.
Sure, we looked at that as well, and we'll provide that. It's not
Great.
significant increase. It's not doubled the size of the house, from the footprint standpoint.
Just to close out that fireplace comment, is that not a fireplace that you show on A100 in the living room?
Excuse me? In the living room? That's
Yeah,
a
an
gas
A100.
fireplace.
What's that?
That's a gas fireplace.
The gas insert. Okay.
Yeah, you don't see it from the outside.
No, I just when I saw that on the plan, I just thought maybe it wasn't drawn.
No,
Not done.
yeah.
Okay. So we'll continue this to the next hearing.
Yes, I'll hold the drawings ready for next year.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Okay.
It's always fun.
Always fun. Enjoy the
Thank
night.
you.
Next on the agenda, 10 Jones Street. I see Sally.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Sally.
Hi.
See the Donovans.
I think Courtney and George will be there.
Hi.
Hi, we're here.
Sorry for running a little late.
No
But-
problem.
Go ahead, Sally.
Hi, how are you? How's everyone? Andrea, do you have the drawings that you can put up for me? Because our computers were not working today very well.
Okay, Miss Tracy can help us with that. She's brilliant.
Okay.
She's gonna get rid of those.
I think our
There
project
we go.
is a little bit smaller, but I think the site plan might be good to start. So the majority of this project really is windows and door changes. And there is going to be an addition to the rear, but it really is not very visible from the street. I just want to say this is like just a cool house. The house was built in 1768. And the owners are very, really wanting to preserve it. And it is a house that I look at from across the street. So it means a lot to me to have it stay. And so I think if you go to the photos, which is P 1.1, it's a couple sheets down. Yeah, keep going. Thank you. There you go. The house does have aluminum siding, but the top left picture is the front of the house, and the bottom left picture is the right side of the house, and the bottom right picture, as we're turning, is the sunroom. So if you go back to SK 1.2, the next sheet up, yes, right there. I think you can see we're really making kind of minor changes to the front facade. There's a lot of doors in this house. There's a door that comes out of the front of the house. There's a door that comes out of the sunroom, and there's a door that comes out of the front to the right there. And there's also a mudroom door. So the thought was to reduce the number of doors. So the idea was to take away that one door that you see there with the planter and make it a window. You can see a little square window to the right. I think that's maybe where Honstra's or somebody used to drop the milk. You can see it there, and we're hoping to just keep that little window because it's very charming. And really, that's kind of the only changes to the front of the house. Everything else is going to stay except that one window. And then if you go to, let's see, I guess on that, if you scroll down on the right-hand side there, you can see on the, it's a one-story gable, and that is going to be their kitchen, which is the kitchen now, but that it will remain the kitchen. And what we're hoping, right now it has kind of a funny window that you can, let's see, it's on, again, on P 1.2, but it's just got a little casement window. What we're proposing is to put 2 single pane through divided light windows on the end, symmetrical, and the range will go in the middle. So it'll just make that end elevation more symmetrical. And then we're adding one more window in the mudroom. And those will all be, you know, to match what's existing. And then on the next sheet, on SK 1.1, which is, I think it's up, go up, I'm sorry. I wish I had these on my screen, but there you go, there. There's an existing sunroom, and this sunroom has metal jalousie windows. And so the thought is that we could replace those with simulated divided light windows, which I think would make a really great addition. It's going to basically look like it does now, but with, you know, more windows that are the right character. I think the other thing that we're doing is, and again, all those, the facade, the windows, everything stays. The shutter stays. The shutters are nice. They're wood. We are proposing a small addition in the rear that I think you can see from the site plan, but it really is not visible from anywhere. I mean, we've all walked around, and it's, when you look at SK 1.2, you can see at the tiniest of, yeah, if you keep going down to SK2, right there. That little 8, it's basically adding about 8 foot to the rear of the house, but it really is not visible. What we're, again, trying to do is mask any kind of addition that was happening to the house. So the house is what you see right now, except, like I said, with a few door changes and window changes. That's it.
All right.
Can I ask Sally a question?
Sure.
That little box that was added to, you know, the 2 sections of the house to put a door in, the one.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, what was the history of that? That doesn't look like it would have been in the original house.
Probably wasn't. It was another little entryway. I think, honestly, it might have been where they brought food, like Honsters brought milk, and, you know, it was like a cold room. And
about that cute little quirky window, but
yeah,
think about taking that whole thing out, or is it doing something for you in the inside?
well, it's going to become a food pantry for them. So when that door goes away, there'll be a window, but we'll have little shallow shelves in there, and that'll be a place where they can put all their canned goods and things like that.
And it's definitely old. I mean, you can, whenever it was added, it was a long time ago.
I think it was. I mean, we do have plans. If you want to go to A 1.2, if you scroll down, they're the last sheets in the set. But that as built. But yeah, keep going and keep going. One more. There we go. So if you scroll up a little bit, that came in a little big, but keep scrolling up if you can. No, I'm sorry, up, not down. Yeah, there you go. Keep going up, up, up. Yeah, there's that little room.
There we go.
Yeah, and you can see that little pantry, and we're trying to just, you know, utilize some shelves, but everything else, the windows in the front, everything is really staying just as it is. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you'll be able to see how those 2 gable windows are symmetrical now on that, you know, existing gable wing. And the range is right tucked between them. So it'll look, you know, more symmetrical and symmetrical inside, because that's a volume ceiling. in that little gable. So, it'll look great from inside too. And then we are, where you see mudroom, that is actually existing in the lavatory, but we're adding the place where it says new pantry, washer, dryer, and that addition in the back. But honestly, you cannot see it from anywhere. I mean, maybe a sliver of roof, but again, trying to tuck the new addition back, but this room will give them, a great space to be with the kids. And then it actually creates a master bedroom upstairs, which you can scroll down if you want and see the second floor. But again, it's kind of hidden behind, roofs that are existing. So it's not any taller than the roof. It's, just kind of a simple gable back there, 2-story gable.
Is it going to be a challenge to keep that bathroom on the second floor that sticks out away from the house? But nice and cozy?
That's outside of our scope, so that doesn't really.
We are renovating that bathroom. That's the boys' bathroom, and then we'll be adding a new master. But that addition, the bump was done years ago, and the bathroom needs a little update, so that'll remain because there's plumbing there. So,
Mary Ann, any comments or questions?
I have comments on the jalousie windows. Why simulated divided light? Why not true divided light to replace those windows with?
well, I think to put that many storm windows on is a lot. So we were just hoping that because they're metal windows, to replace them with something that's a little better. But I guess the thought was it would be nicer if they were simulated. So you just have a screen on the bottom and not have to have all of these combination storms and screens on all those windows.
Anything else, Mary Ann?
I don't think so, no.
Eric?
No specific comments, other than I just, think it's the nicely thoughtful done moves here. Really appreciate the addition being hidden in the back. Can't see it, not our issue in my mind. So,
Thank you. Dan?
No, the only, I guess nope, I'm good, actually. No comments.
Okay. Josh?
I think it's beautifully considered, and it's not our purview, but I think the floor plan is fantastic.
Oh, good, thanks. Thank you.
All right. I don't have any comments. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Okay.
Dan, our motion guy.
Make a motion to issue a certificate of appropriateness for 10 Jones Street, located in the. Oh, I don't know. You confused me on this. Which HCXL?
Oh, Hingham Center Extension,
Oh, extension.
local historic district.
In the Hingham Center Extension Historic District. Per the plans dated 9/9/22, work to include removing a door at the front of the house to replace it with a window, changing the windows on the end of the 1-story gable, replacing jalousie windows in the existing sunroom with 6/6 windows, and adding a 2-story addition to the rear of the house. Total additional square feet, 786.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Carol, how do you vote? Dan?
Aye.
Josh?
Aye.
Mary Ann?
Aye.
It's an aye for me. Motion passes.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. Nice job as usual.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
everyone.
Thank you very much.
We're really grateful.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good luck.
night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sally.
Thanks.
Okay. Last on the agenda, last project on the agenda, 693 Main Street.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Is Michael here?
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, I'm on. Hi, guys.
Okay, hi. Oh, I see you up there in the corner.
I am.
Okay.
Nice to meet everyone via Zoom here. Yeah, we were loving Main Street so far. We've only been here for what, a week or two so far, but hopefully this is a quick and easy one for you guys. But yeah.
Yeah, I think this is so neat, and I'm so grateful for what you guys do. I think is what makes Hingham so special. So this is kind of cool to be a part of this, and we're brand new to Glad Tidings, but very excited. So I don't know if you share your screen or we can just kind of make this quick for everyone, I hope. It's a little fence to discuss.
Tracy, I think, has it. She's brilliant.
Okay. Okay, so we have a fence, a white fence, similar design to this that runs along our driveway. We just found out a couple days ago that it's actually our fence. We kind of thought it was our neighbors because it's kind of more on their lands. So what we're looking to do is match the exact fence style, size, everything, and just run it along our side yard. Purely function versus fashion here. We have two little puppies that we want to keep safe. So the fence will run behind the big mulch bed. We have some beautiful trees, some good perennials. So that'll still be exposed to the street. The fence would go behind that mulch bed and just along the side of the yard. So cedar, we have the white painting lined up, hoping to install that soon. So that's sort of our amateur rendering there. And then the photos from the fencing company are those cedar photos that will be painted white. 3-foot fence to match the other side.
Yep.
So your driveway will have a fence on either side?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, honestly, in a perfect world, I probably wouldn't want to put a fence in here, but to Steph's point, we are big English bulldog lovers, and we have 2 puppies, and we are very keen on keeping them safe and not running into the driveway and or the street. So that's kind of the impetus for this this project. So.
And what happens across the front of the property? You're staying behind the big pine trees.
Yeah,
there's no landscaping involved. It'll just go along in the grassy area.
Yeah, it will connect to the side of the house. It's not going to go. It won't go in the front of the house or near the sidewalk. It'll be set back. It's hard to explain. There's the front of the house that sticks out. It's a little entryway, and then there's the main house is set back, and this fence is going to connect to the main house where it sets back, kind of behind that. Is that an azalea stuff there on the left? That left window there is actually the office where I'm sitting right now. It's going to connect there. There'll be a gate out front, and then it's going to run along the side of the driveway and connect back to the end of the house with another gate.
So it's going to come from the main body of the house.
Yep.
And run to the driveway. Because in the rendering, it just looks forward of the house by quite a bit. So it's going to be in line with the existing overall plane of the house and the corner of the house.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, there's a side yard, we call it the side yard. It's really going to enclose that entire side yard.
Now, right next door to you, there's a lovely old fence. It has a granite base, and it looks like it's been there forever and ever and ever. And they enclosed their entire property. I mean, whoever built it way back when enclosed the entire front of the property. Is that something you considered at all?
That would be my preference. We can't afford it right now. So the idea is to maybe down the road have that be a phase 2 to bring it along the front that would sort of match. For now, just function wise, this is what we can sort of swing. So this is the imminent plan.
I understand, yeah. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, we love it.
Former owners were lovely people.
Oh, they left us some really cool historic paperwork and stuff and photos. It's really neat.
Yeah, it's a really cool house.
So you said you've been here a week?
2 weeks, week or two?
Yeah, it was just not last Saturday, but the Saturday before we had the movers. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we had a really bad, tragic accident with a puppy before these two guys. So this is number one on our priority list.
So, out of curiosity, this photo on the bottom.
Yep.
I think this is the side of the house. Is there any work going on there now?
There's there's a little bit. We've had a little bit of landscaping done, and taking some trees down out back. We're trying to make the back a little more level yard for the kids, open it up a little bit. But
So is it landscaping work?
yes,
Not doing anything to the house?
correct. Nope, nothing to the house.
Okay.
You also have a very beautiful barn back there. I've been at many events in it, and it's really true.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the coolest thing is like the underneath, like horse stalls. So cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Explain to everybody, because it doesn't show up in the pic. It's a very long, narrow lot. It goes way back, and it's woodsy back there, and it's terraced. So you step down old stones that look like 100 years old or more, and then a little area to sit, and then another little terrace area. It's just a charming property. I think you're going to love it back there.
Yeah, I think there is not a plot plan, but there's a aerial plot view. You can see how just long and narrow it is. But
It just shows a rectangle, but it's woodsy and charming back there.
Yep.
Shall I make a motion? Any other questions?
Are there any abutters? There's one or two people on here I don't recognize. I don't hear anything.
Does anyone feel they need a site visit?
I would feel I need a site visit, Carol. I feel the parallel fence is convoluted. You have a fence on one side of a driveway, a fence on the other side of the driveway, not a terribly wide driveway, it doesn't appear to me. And it just appears convoluted. And sort of, I realize the function is for the puppies, but at the same time, I think the preservation of the historic streetscape is also a consideration. And maybe, I don't know if electric fences work for puppies or what, but I just think it seems a little forced to me, the erection of a fence with this beautiful house. It's almost a detraction to the house. That's just my input.
Yeah, it's a good point, Mary Ann. We've talked about an electric fence. We know some people on Main Street that have them. We couldn't get there, just trust-wise, I guess. I'm sure they work well, but we definitely batted that idea around. I mean, honestly, if we put this fence up, I wouldn't be against taking the other one down, to your point, but I get your point of having it be tight. But to Steph's point, and our main reason for this is really just the safety of the dog. So I understand your point, though.
What do you mean taking the other one down? Isn't that your neighbor's yard?
That's our fence. To Steph's point, she mentioned it earlier.
Property there is yours?
That's yeah. I thought it was our neighbor's.
It looks like the front of his house.
It's the side. It's between our side yards.
Wow.
Yeah. We thought it was theirs, and they were like, "No, that's your fence." Like, oh, okay.
You don't want to use that then just put a gate across or something?
What do you mean? Move it? Move it over?
I'm going to share my screen because Miss Tracy, can you let me share my screen? I have an overall view that might help.
It should work for you now.
Yep. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys are trying to basically, this blue line, put a fence in here, right?
Yep, exactly.
So there's an existing fence over here. You want to keep them in the driveway and basically make like a little courtyard.
Correct.
Yeah. So hopefully this is helpful for the commission members just to see the context of this.
That's so helpful. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We talked about putting a gate across the driveway, which we thought would look stupid and not very functional, and that wouldn't help with, keeping the dogs out of the driveway. It's just, it's really just for the safety of them. We kind of want the idea of letting them out in that yard and doing their thing and playing and not really worrying about them, minus coyotes hopping over the fence. But that's
watch the deer. Yeah.
That's another story.
Next door neighbor has a big fence like that that closes off his drive. They just keep it open all the time, but it's sitting there. It could be closed.
Yeah. Just with people coming and going, and a lot of people will be probably backing out of the driveway, and including my parents who are older, and I just, God forbid, someone hits a puppy. But that picture is exactly right.
All right, I was just,
And
just for context then for it's 38 feet off of this road and 111 feet off of the main road. So it's, I mean, from the sidewalk, it's 30 feet.
It's too bad you can't use it. And that would save you so much money too.
All right, what was that?
It's just too bad since that fence is sitting right there. It's going to match yours. And you can't use it because it would save a lot of money to not have to put another one right there.
We agree.
Yeah, I guess I don't have an issue with it. I think the majority of what you're going to see from the road, you're going to see a long fence going down.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't this fence come past this and go to this corner right
Yes.
here?
Yes, it does. Yep.
Their yard's completely faced.
Yeah, so I'm not concerned about them being offset from each other. And if it came all the way out and you had a narrow entry, I think it would look funny, but you're 30 feet off of the sidewalk. So I think it works, and it's gonna kind of look like an enclosed little courtyard like you're shooting for.
And it's the same height too, same style, same height.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that was my question, because there's an image in the back of the package that shows like a 6 foot.
Yeah, their application calls 3 feet tall cedar fence to be painted white. I think they were trying to show that photo in the back is more just for the style, which is
Okay. But we're trying to match the existing.
we're matching this existing fence, the one that's on this side.
All right.
Which is this one.
Okay.
Yep.
It's got the caps and everything.
Gotcha. All right.
So I'll make a motion
Okay.
if we're happy to
Sure.
get to that point. I'll make a motion to issue a certificate of appropriateness for 693 Main Street, Glad Tidings Historic District, to install a new 3 foot tall cedar fence to be painted white along the side yard, extending out from the corner of the house to the driveway and following the driveway path to the back of the house.
Is there a second?
A second.
All right. Carol, how do you vote?
Aye.
Marianne, how do you vote?
Aye.
Catherine, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
That's an aye for me.
Oh, let's see that puppy face.
Let's see them.
Oh, yeah, where are they?
Where's Willow?
Oh my God, they're so cute.
Yeah, boy and girl, same litter. Willow and Blaze, so they are very thankful.
And your daughter's pretty cute too, I must.
Yeah, she
We
is
are very
too.
blessed. Thank you all so, so much.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great night.
Welcome.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
So before we end up tonight, there are a couple of things I want to mention. One is that all the voting members received a mailing from Attorney Dennehy, and contained the complaint against the Historic Districts Commission. This week, I received 5 more complaints, but each voting member is individually named. So, but our council, town council, Carrie Ryan, is all over this, and it's basically, I'll send it out to you. It's the same complaint, but it's just, a tactic to intimidate. So, but it's not unusual, and you don't have to do anything. Town council will take care of it. So, I just wanted to put you at ease there. And I'm going to send, since Marianne and Eric and Josh are not named, I will send you a copy so that you can look and see what we're being sued for. So there's that. If there is any other information that's forthcoming, I will share that promptly, but as far as I know, there's really nothing now. We're just gonna wait. Our attorney, town council will respond to the complaint. And we'll see what.
No liability that we can incur from this.
No,
We're
No.
only sued in our duties as the commission, not as individuals.
right.
Even though they're
And-
paying us individually.
Yeah, even so, we're, you know, you are protected, so, and we've got counsel and it's all good. So not to worry. And Mary Ann, who knows all sorts of things about complaints and lawsuits and everything else. It's ironic that she was not named, but yeah, Mary Ann has a legal background, so. Anyway, so the other thing is, let's see, we had a meeting scheduled, actually for, that conflicted with the, oh God, what do you call it? Open meeting law training. And so the open meeting law training has been rescheduled. I think it's November the 9th. So if you, have you gotten any notification from anybody?
Yes.
Okay. So we really are required to attend, and it is, it's important. So please do so. We have to go through this every year or so, and it's so please put it on your calendars. And the other thing I want to say is that, and this is the final thing, I have not gotten, things have been crazy with CPC applications this week, which, you know, is not your problem, it's mine, but nevertheless, I was not able to really go through the minutes that Ms. Tracy prepared for both our last meetings, our business meeting and the one on the 15th of September. So you'll be getting those, and we'll just approve them next time around. But I have some awful news and some good news, and it is Miss Tracy is leaving us. We're very sad. Yes, I know it's devastating news for us, but great news for her. Miss Tracy, can you tell us where you will be and what you will be doing?
Sure. And I look like I'm in a halo, but I am going to be the first ever town planner and coordinator of inspectional services for the town of West Bridgewater, which is my hometown, and it's about a mile away. So it's a great opportunity, but I do want to thank you all. I've learned a lot from you over the past year and a half. It's been a pleasure.
Done a great job. Thank you.
Yeah, you've done a great job. The pleasure is ours. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
I'm going to miss you a lot. And I told you that I started to cry. So, so anyway, but I'll talk to you later. Anybody else have anything else to add for tonight? I think we've covered everything.
I guess.
Should we set up another date for our next business meeting?
Dolly, shall I just float something out there? Justin isn't with us tonight. He had a conflict. And so I'll float some dates out there and so that we can do that. We want to do that before the snow flies, right?
Yeah, right.
It was kind of fun to be together, wasn't it? It was nice to see people. So anything else?
Can I leave you? I'm sorry that Justin's not here, but if I can, I'll leave you with a joke.
Oh, God.
Okay, good. Go
I
ahead.
didn't think Daniel had something to say before the joke, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
go
was
ahead,
just-
Daniel.
I guess I think I put two. I just want to confirm that email that you sent us, Andrew. Is that why you asked your question about ongoing work, Tracy?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't even know what did I send an email?
You forwarded us a picture.
Oh, a picture, yes. And so I have no idea what that was, very honestly. It was from an abutter who wishes to remain anonymous. Anyway, so Daniel, I noticed you did not return my phone call from last week, and I
didn't
think
know
that
who
was.
it was. I didn't know who it was from because when I get phone calls and I miss them, it takes me back to the main line at town.
Oh,
So if I
It just
miss
says
a
town
call,
of Hingham.
yeah. So that.
and you paranoid me because I thought it was the same thing happens if my kids' schools call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're
Well,
fine.
I was just going to call, but I was not going to gloat over the game.
Oh, that's why you called me. I'm glad I didn't answer.
I already gloated for Trey.
I like that line though. You paranoided me.
You paranoided me, yeah.
I'm gonna use that.
Yeah. Well, I guess, be careful. I might have to resign.
No, none of that.
You didn't go to the game, did you?
I ended up not going. I gave those tickets away.
Oh, my. Okay, well, it was
For
the
the better.
Michigan-Penn State game last Saturday, and I'm sorry, but Penn State went down in flames.
Oh.
Yep. So, all right.
I'm not gloating, though.
Miss Tracy, your joke?
How do you know that an ocean is friendly?
It waves.
Yeah.
You're a real stealer of thunder.
I'm in the.
Boo, Dan.
I have a 5 and a 6-year-old. I am the sweet spot of dad jokes right now. So it'd be tough to get one by me.
I still like Justin's from the last time, which was, I don't know, the one about the ground beef.
Oh, what do you call a cow with no arms and legs?
See, Miss Tracy remembers that because she started typing it into the meeting minutes. And was like, strike that.
He's really taking good notes.
You should see the first draft of the minutes.
Oh,
On that
gosh.
note,
Well,
motion
we're
to
going to
adjourn?
miss you a lot, Tracy. There's no
Likewise.
doubt about it. So, and we all wish you well.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Good
All right,
night,
is there a motion to
everybody.
adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Aye.
Second?
Second.
All right. Carol,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
Mary Ann,
Aye.
and I for me. Meeting adjourned.